Tegea jukwaa la afya yako.
Sikumwona na macho haya yangu, lakini jamani, kuna mwanga.
Tetewe, rero chinyama, tetewe, rero chinyama.
It's the 8th of March 2022. It happens to be International Women's Day. Happy International Women's Day for every woman out there. Particularly our biggest fan here on Boss TV. Would like to celebrate you in a different kind of way, and we are so happy that you are part and parcel of our lives. It's so good to have the women, and of course I don't know how the world would have been if the women were not around with us. And of course this day we dedicate the entire day to all the women out there, and also the young girls who are growing up looking forward to become women as well. And that will be the base of our discussion this morning. Matters to do with the International Women's Day and how we can, push for the advocacy of policies that can support women in the society. Advocacy of policies that support women is the topic of discussion. We'll be engaging so much in matters about women. There has, and of course today, there will be quite a number of events that will be marking the International Women's Day. We will be telling you where exactly they're going to be and what will be happening in those events here in Mombasa County. And also, in studio here, there's something else will be happening that is talking about matters of women, and I'll be engaging to young ladies who believe to be a source and a voice of women out there. They will be here in their capacity and the different positions they hold under the organization called Strategic Community, and that is a strategic development community. It's an entity that talks about issues to do with women, girl child, and matters to do with advocacy of policies that can help and support the women. And I'm talking about Christine Rashid. That is the first guest, that is Christine Rashid. And of course we'll be talking also to Margaret Mwende Mulu. She'll be joining me in studio later on at the top of the hour. That is exactly 8 a.m. to talk more concerning the International Women's Day. Start talking to us, and of course today we give you that opportunity to send in your congratulatory messages to all the women. If you have a woman in your life, whether if it's your sister, your mother, your fiancé, whoever you think that plays a bigger role when it comes to that role of women in your life, then we give you an opportunity to share about them, and do tell us what you think and what you want to tell them in this very same day. That is what we'll be discussing in a nutshell once we get to the top of the hour. But first, we normally kickstart the day by looking at what is making headlines, and today we'll be looking at quite a number of newspaper articles and what is making in the headlines in the different newspapers. So as usual also, we'd like to engage you into our first segment of the show. What do you think about the headlines? What can you say about the news and views as well? That is what we'll be looking at in just a bit, and that is what we can expect. And before even we get too far, like I mentioned, being the fact that we are looking forward to the International Women's Day, yesterday the Pwani Women Caucus, that is one entity also that brings on board women inside the leadership, had prepared a workshop at Mamangina Waterfront in discussion on how to congratulate and educate women, and also challenge them to run in for more leadership positions once the election comes. And this year's theme for the International Women's Day, it's all about breaking the bias. And Jerry Massey, our very own reporter, yesterday had pitched camp at Mamangina to follow up for you that story in relation for today as well. And this is what she had to file for us. Let's take a look.
As the world prepares to celebrate World Women's Day tomorrow, Pwani Women Caucus has prepared a workshop at Mamangina in order to educate women and urge them to run for leadership positions in the country.
Kama Pwani Women Caucus Group leo tumeweza hapa kukusanyika pamoja na viongozi wanawake mbalimbali ambao wanashika nyadhifa mbalimbali. Lengo letu kuu la kuweza kuwaleta viongozi wote na wale wenye kupania pia uongozi ni kuhakikisha kuwa ajenda ya wanawake imeweza kuzungumzwa na kuweza kusikilika.
Speaking during this event, Pwani Women Caucus Chair Salma Hamid explained that the group does not support any political party, but their main issue is to make sure women get good support and the civic education they require for their political strength.
Network Pwani Caucus Group iko hapa kusupport wanawake wetu ambao wanagombea viti na pia kuangalia katika wale wenye kugombea ni yupi ambaye sisi kama wanawake tutamchagua ili tumuweke awe governor wetu wa Mombasa ikifikia 2022, na ikiwa hakuwahi basi at least katika huo mwaka wa mbele 2027 ili tuwe tunajua kwamba tumesimamisha mwanamke.
Likoni MP Mishimboko has congratulated women for coming out to run for the leadership seats despite the challenges they've been facing.
Na niweze kufurahi na niseme hongera sana kwa kina mama wa Mombasa na Pwani kwa jumla, kwa sababu hivi sasa kina mama wengi wamejitokeza kupigania viti tofauti vya kisiasa. Tunajua maisha ya Wakenya na maisha ya kila nchi mengi kabisa yanaongozwa na siasa, na maamuzi mengi yanafanywa katika nyanja za kisiasa. Hivyo basi ni kuhimiza kina mama ya kwamba sote tuweze kupigania viti vyote.
In matters people living with disability, Emily, who is a human rights activist, has called on the inclusivity of people living with disability in the government and governance in the country.
So, natoa rai zangu kwa wanawake walio na ulemavu wajitokeze ili waweze kugombea nafasi kwenye nyadhifa tofauti.
Deputy County Commissioner in Mombasa County, Bwana Robin, has assured the security to the female aspirants during and after the election, explaining that more officers have been trained to ensure peace is maintained in and after the general elections. He has also given a warning to those who will use young people to provide violence in the public meetings.
Na leo tumeungana na wamama viongozi na tunawahimiza ya kwamba wafanye siasa safi. Siasa ya upendo, sio siasa ya chuki.
Jermasi, Boss TV, Mombasa.
Right, now today is International Women's Day. That is what is happening across the world, and here in Kenya, particularly in Mombasa, quite a lot is going to happen, and we will be following up for you that as well. You can wait for that once I get to talk more about International Women's Day. I'll be telling you more on that. Now, I want to go straight looking at what is making headline in page 1 of the Daily Nation. And on page 1, before I even tell you the biggest story this morning, there is a story here that pertains to the KCPE examination on the back page of the Daily Nation.